Hi, I am Denise with the Freestyle Systems, and today we are doing an install in the Paul Kenneth Salon in Woburn, Massachusetts. They are an intercoiffure salon. It is a drop ceiling install, and the first thing that we need to do is we need to take a measurement from the mirror to directly in the center point of the client's head. So let's do that and let's see what we have. Okay, so we are at 52 inches. That's great. What you want to be is between 52 and 54 inches from mirror to the center of the client's head. And this is exactly where the Freestyle Systems will actually hang just above. So the second thing that we had to do was lay out the distance from the mirror to the floor. And the way that we did that is we took the center of the mirror and then we went out 52 inches, as we did before when the client was sitting in the chair, and we've marked this on the floor. From there, what we did was we marked off each of the different stations. Now, these stations are actually ideally placed at 5 feet between each station. So as you can see, we've laid that out. And now we're ready for our next step. So in this third step, what we need to do is we need to take a plumb line from the exact center that we've just marked off on the floor to the ceiling. What we're using is a plumb laser, but you can use a plumb bob. And I'll show you where this is up here. So this is the spot right here that we're actually going to be drilling a hole and where the Freestyle cord will hang from. So after we've marked the plumb line, what we need to do is we need to make sure that there are no obstructions above. We've done that. We need a 12-inch clearance, which we have. So now what we need to do is we need to mark the drill hole. And this will be a 2 1/8 inch drill hole. So we mark that. And now we're ready to move on to the next step. We've just taken the ceiling tile down, and what we're going to do now is drill a 2 1/8 inch hole with our 2 1/8 inch hole saw. And we're going to do that at that center point that we've marked off. What you see here are all the components for installing the Freestyle system in a drop ceiling kit. This is the pan, this is the mounting bracket, and what we want to do is place the mounting bracket into the pan, into the hole here. We have 3 different locations depending upon how we need to configure this pan. So we just slide it right in, and there's a little hole already ready for me, and I take my screw. I just very gently make sure that's on. So what this will allow me to do is to move it in terms of where I need to place that. So what I've just done is I've installed the 4 mounting brackets onto the pan. And now what we'll do is we'll take the grid bracket, and this easily fits right onto that drop ceiling grid, and then we just place like so. And so what we'll do now is we'll go in and install. So I've installed my first grid bracket, and what I have, which you can't see down there, is the plumb line going straight up into the center. So what I need to do now is take my pan and place this onto the grid bracket and then mark off, see here, exactly where I need to place my second grid. So let me just mark that off. Okay, and once that's marked off, I'll take my pan, place it down, take my second grid bracket, and this you just move that out and that clips right in. So clip that one right in, very simple. Okay. once you have this clipped into the grid, we just simply place the pan onto the bracket. Like so. And now we are ready. There we go. So what I'm looking at right here is I'm looking at that plumb line, and I can see, because I have a piece of tape on this opening, I can see that that is directly in the center, exactly where I need it to be. Okay. So what we've done here is we've installed the 4 nuts and bolts and washers, and we've secured that in place. And as you can see, perhaps right here, we put 4 of these wire brackets to really secure that. The tile over here, we've had to place this perpendicular because of the fact that the opening was closer to the bracket system itself. So you do have the ability to change the side in order to really position that. But again, it's simply 4 of these bolts, nuts, 4 washers, and then these bracket systems. So we put the tile back in, and now what we're going to do is take the 2 cord guide elements, and all you do is you just screw that right in there, and then we place it right up, and we just screw that right into place. And that will just sit right up tight against the tile. So for this pan, what we've had to do, as you can see where the exact center is, it's so close to this grid, we had to take 4 of these grid brackets, and we've had to alternate them, as you can see right here, to support this pan. So if you run into a situation where the grid comes too close to that center point, you are still able to install this quickly and easily with just 2 extra sets of these grid brackets. We've just installed the Freestylist, as you can see here, and what we're going to do now is install our infrared device for the remote control Freestylist. So what we have to do is we've already marked off on the ceiling tile right here where we are going to be drilling an 1.5" hole to then install the infrared device. So now that we've drilled the hole, what we want to do is thread the wire through, and once we pull the wire through, we have this washer and this nut, and we just stick that through, and I'll show you how this works. So all I'm doing, washer first, and then the nut, and then this will get threaded up through the top. You can see it on the top here, and then you just very gently bring that through, and once that gets in there, you can feel it up at the top, and it just screws tight, and you can see that that is all. Now that I've installed the infrared receiver, what I need to do is plug this, and you can see it right here, right in to the Freestylist, install the tile, and we're ready to go. You can see there are no more cords cluttering up the stations. Well, as you can see, we've installed 8 Freestyle systems in this drop ceiling environment in less than a day.